All right, a very good morning. It's a bright one that you'll be able to really watch here today. We hope that you are all okay. And we are back with the Kokoliriko show for the Thursday edition for this week. And it is the 9th of November 2023. And it is just 14 minutes past 7 a.m. We'll be taking you up to the hour of 9 a.m. That will be able to really bring you a lot of stories that have been occurring or running, that all those that are running right away, and really giving you updates on the issues that are happening, and also how far the economic monitoring aspect has gone. And remember, the state minister for economic monitoring, that is Beatrice Akor, is still here in West Nile region, and there is a lot that is developing. Remember, the first day was in Arua City, the second day still was in Arua City, and yesterday she was in Arua district. Remember, today the trip will really turn to Madiokolo district, and tomorrow we'll be expected to see her in Pakwati district, and that's where she'll be able to actually wind up out the West Nile tour, and many other things that have already developed from this will be actually be able to unveil them. And remember, there were stories that if you remember very well and really watched the Nilecast yesterday, you remember that there were a lot of protests, demonstrations here in Arua City. We'll be also giving you updates with that, and we'll be having security team that will be actually giving us updates on what actually transpired from the day one up to yesterday, and really trying to see how the security situation in the city is. That is what will be also coming up to discuss in the second hour of this show. That will be actually joined by one of the security personnel, or maybe a person who is in that field of security, to understand what is currently happening in the city. Remember, those demonstrations escalated into fires, exchange of blows, and so on. Those were really issues that have really happened there. We'll be also moving into that. Remember, away from West Nile region, there are a lot of issues that are also happening across some parts of this country. That is one thing that will really also be moving to. And if you look at the papers today, the stories of regional imbalance still stands out, and that is where really we'll be also getting someone to analyze what is it that is missing, what is it that we are actually supposed to have in our vicinities, what is it that really we needed to see that all the regions have at least a fair treatment from the national cake. Many times people talk about national cake. It is not really the cake that is made by the people in the bakeries, but it is what services government is supposed to deliver. Is the pie chart being balanced? Those are the things that really many times people look at in terms of assessing how government has been run, or how really the services have been delivered by government to the people. And that's where really we'll also be moving to, and also see what is happening within the nation and also elsewhere. Remember, there are a lot of developments across the world. The issues of terror attacks, or the terror threats still continue to persist, and we show the UPDF spokesperson actually giving updates on how far they have gone with the operations in DRC, and also really understanding what is currently trickling down in the local security systems in this nation. And that's where we're really also trying to understand some of those things. And the demand for aid, relief aid, especially in terms of food and logistics, is really one big issue that citizens are still demanding from Israel and Hamas, and that is one big issue there. Remember, the war that started some time back is still continuing, and many people continue to die, and that's where really there is emphasis from world over, and also state organs that they need actually assistance be rendered to Hamas and Israel. And remember, the war did not only affect one country, it affected both of these nations, and that is where really we have to share with you. And that's why we are actually expecting you to also have a say about whatever we're discussing here. Your contribution is very, very important. Remember, without you, we can't progress. But you are actually the delicacy of what we say here. You make everything, you blend it, you change the scent or the narrative of whatever we're saying here by giving us that comment or sharing with us your opinion on whatever we're sharing here. It matters. Your opinion matters. It can shape a discussion. It can actually inform a decision for those duty bearers who are able to watch us live right now. They'll be able to actually get it right away from here. And really, those of you who are watching us from the social media platforms, we say thank you very much. Remember, the Facebook is live now, and also the YouTube channel is live. You'll be able to get those links and really be able to follow us from there. And the X is also there, available for you to really also come to the YouTube channels and really understand what we're discussing here. And many times you'll be able to share with us your comments from there. We'll be able to also project them live here on some of the topical issues that we are bringing for you here, so that whatever you share will be also be able to bring it here for those who actually are interested in seeing what others say in relation to the topics that we're bringing forth. And also remember, the TV is on, and we are 24/7, and that means you can tune at any time and be able to really catch up with many other programs. And do not forget that we'll be having a lot of interesting talks or programs that will be coming on your way. The news that will be following this show that will be in Liberty, that will be brought to you here immediately. And after that, you'll be also having the Daktari show. Remember, for those of you who want to understand the health issues, you should be able to really get it live at this moment. Today, you'll be able to get that that show be brought to you live there, and also be able to understand from the health perspective what the doctors are able to share with you on serious issues to do with health, complications, and it matters a lot. The issues to do with the health does not spare anyone, whether you are tall, you are short, you are big, you are fat, you are what. All of us need those discussions to do with health, and that's a very, very important thing that all of us should be able to pay attention to. And remember, there will be also the news in Alur, that is Lemankia news, that will be brought to you by Pish or Chak, who will be also there bringing the local perspective of that, and that will be bringing ushering in also the analysis of sports. Remember, there were a lot of games played overnight, and also transfer rumors are already moving on. And remember, there are teams that are already sinking, they are already moving down there, and also the rock bottom and so on. We'll be able to see why some teams have continued to limp behind, while others are trying to climb the ladder to make their way to the top. And that is what you'll be also getting in the whistle time. Okay, that will be brought to you by Benson Pastore and his team there. And that will be followed by many other programs. And you'll have Chukchuku that will be coming from the hour of 5 p.m. That is basically the entertainment aspect. You have all the music you want, all the news, the gossips, and also many other things that will be also getting live in that show. And that will be wound up by the news in English that will be brought to you by Christine Okomoringa. That is the Nile cast from 7 sharp. That will take you up to some time there. And That will be followed by some many other programs that you'll be able to get from that time. And it is very, very important that you have this on your doorway or in your headset or anywhere that you can be able to note some of these programming so that you are able to catch up with the most interesting for you, and you'll be able to follow it there and then. And remember, West Nile TV actually won the quality brands award, and that is one big thing that we'll be able to bring for you here. And the celebrations are scheduled for the 2nd of December, so you'll be able to get live what has happened and also really what we are able to do there. And remember, delivering service to the people to an extent that people are able to appreciate by voting is one big thing that we'll be able to do. And we say thank you very much for your contributions, for believing in the only television station that we have in West Nile region, that it is able to actually do the needful that you wanted us to do. And we also ask you to share with us how we should be able to improve, okay, the services the way you want them to be. Okay, it's win-win situation. When you give us that this is one thing that we want us to be brought on board, we'll be able to really accept that kind of advice that you are giving us, so that we are able to bring the services that are good to the people, okay, that are shaping the development aspects of the people, and also the interest of the local communities is captured. And that's why we are here, and that's why we have brought this television here in West Nile region. There is no any other television station that has come to really to come low and be able to bring the local content just like West Nile TV does. And that's why we are here for you, and we'll be able to really bring all those things you want us to do, and also be able to coordinate with the communities and also light up the region in a better way, and really create that impact in the local communities, and be able to showcase what is really in the region to other parts of this nation and the world over. That's what West Nile TV stands for, and that's what we are going to be doing with you there. And those of you who are watching us within Arua City, we say thank you very, very much. And I know that there's a lot that has been done following the monitoring or the oversight monitoring that has been done by the State Minister for Economic Monitoring. I know that there will be really changes in terms of service delivery, in terms of improvement, or in terms of transparency and accountability. This is really one thing that we want people to do. Remember, government has been really injecting a lot of monies in different programs, in different sectors, and the issues, the aspects of accountability have been really one thing that has been lacking. Remember, a lot of gaps have been witnessed in the Paris Development Model program, where actual officers who are responsible to educate, to sensitize the communities, want actually the communities to come and seek for knowledge from them, and they feel comfortable to be seated in the offices. And that is one big gap that has ever existed. And how do you account to the people when you don't want to engage with them directly? And that's one thing that is actually bringing a lot of loopholes there. And that's one aspect of corruption, because ideally you are facilitated to go and engage with the communities and organize barazas, but you use this money for your personal gain. You don't want to really go into the communities. You feel like that is an expense that you were not really actually ready to incur, which is not really a very good thing. We need to really account to the people with the little resources that government has given us. We need to really tell the people what is going on, and that is one big issue that has actually been seen to be not really taken up by most of these officers who are in the offices, in the public offices. Talk about different programs that have been financed by government, and that's one critical issue that I feel many other local governments should be able to learn. And those of you who are watching us from Other districts in Western region, we talk about Terego district, Mariokolo, Maracha, and those in Koboko. We say thank you very much for keeping it with Western TV. And those from Yumbe district and Obongi, I know the issues to do with connectivity of the districts through the link roads and also many other transport systems. Talk about the ferry and many others have been really a very great challenge. And remember, the connection between Moyo and Obongi has been cut off. This is because of flooding, and we hope that with the coming of different interventions by government, we'll be able to see at least an arrangement being made to ensure that there's a transport system secured for the people, or maybe a bridge be put to ensure that people are able to connect to other districts, really for the better of service delivery. And that's one critical area that we have seen well is actually hampering the excesses that is running now. And remember, PLE is on, and many districts in Western region have not reported any big challenge apart from the challenges of rain, the issues of poor state of roads that is actually delaying these excesses. And that is one big element that is actually seen there. And I hope the 1 million Ugandan shillings, actually 1 billion Ugandan shillings that has been disbursed by Ministry of Finance on paper already should have already reached some of these districts. So districts should be able to really work on some of the district roads to ensure that really they are passable. Okay, and also those of you who are watching us from Moyo and Juman, we say thank you. You should be part of the discussions here, because most of the issues that we are discussing here are issues that are affecting the local governments and also the communities at large. So we should be able to see many other stakeholders reacting to whatever we are saying here, and also be able to guide on how really people should be able to access some of these services or some of the gaps, how they are intending to fulfill them. Okay, it's a very important. And those of you who are watching us from Aluru sub-region, talk about Pakwach, Nebi and Jombo, we say thank you very much. But from here, let's take a small break and we'll be able to really come in and discuss some of the issues that are going on, really that are at hand. Certainly. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. We are the passion you've been waiting for! Junior It's our league, our football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it! What a finish from Fukume! The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times.
The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
The passion you've been waiting for! Yunus Junior Santamu! It's our league, our football, our boys, our style. Start Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish from Fukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times.
The Star Times UPL. Our league, go for it.
All right, welcome back from that commercial break. I remember earlier on I introduced to you that we'll be having a guest shortly because we really want to understand the security situation. This was after really a lot of demonstrations we are really seen yesterday around the city, and this demonstrations actually emerged from a lot of issues. Remember, there were arrests made during the monitoring in Arua City. That was after really technocrats failed to account for the actions that they had really done. Remember, there were a lot of projects running in the city, special development projects, and at some point when the minister was trying to inquire why some things did not really rhyme well, this was actually one thing that made them to really pick some of the technocrats in the city to go and really give further information. And these were really picked and really taken to Arua Central Police Station. This included the Chief Finance Officer, the Deputy Town Clerk, the Fiscal Planner, and also many others that were in the lower cadre. And this will really not move so much into what the cases were about, but what I can highlight here is one of the issues was the failure to account for how really American Towers came into Arua City to install a tower behind the public library that is on Avenue Road, and that was one issue that actually led to the arrest of the fiscal planner, because really the town clerk clearly indicated that there was no decision made by the Fiscal Planning Committee to okay the giveaway of this city land to the developer, and evidence was seen to be like there was a document circulating that the fiscal planner actually permitted the giveaway of this land and okayed the development without the authority of that committee. But also other issues that came up were the issues to do with the taxi park, the sharing of the 50 million to the central division, where really the city did not actually give any of those coins to the central division. But also the issues of multiple subletting of lockups that actually resulted into many people being cheated and shown who were behind bottom gain in this transaction was one other issue that the town clerk and the chief finance officer failed to actually adduce evidence and really failed to account for the actions in those two places. But also the issues to do with the giveaway of land for the under the public-private partnership. The MOU seemed not to be really one. You did not have the signature of the solicitor Solicitor General that is actually responsible to the city. We are seeing a really protest.
The State Minister then ordered for the arrest of the two officers for further interrogation. Inatu Simon, the leader of the protesters, explained that the arrests were uncalled for and criticized the Member of Parliament for Arua Central Division for protecting the technocrats.
See, the reason for this protest is that simple. The people, the civil servants who are arrested there inside the ship, especially the CFO and the deputy town clerk, their arrest is the one that has caused the protest right now here. Because if you go to the police there and check the statements, which is before, or where those people are kept inside the cell, the statement is just shallow, and you cannot even know why those people are detained there. Now we have asked ourselves, if that is the reason why those people are arrested, meaning there's something behind, there's a politics which is behind that. So we want to, our aim of coming here is we wanted to talk to the MP of Central Division about the grievances, because on several occasions his name has been appearing in this kind of confusion. So we want him to tell us his interest and grievances, why he's doing all these kind of things.
However, Honorable Atimali Jackson Buti, the Member of Parliament for Arua Central Division, who was part of the district when approached on the matter, declined to comment. Frederick Dramadri, Okumaringa Christine, for West Nile Television, Nowcast.
Okay, you might have already seen what has happened there and really understood something from that. But I want to report to you that after this, there was really an engagement with the security. A lot of issues came up and shown. But up to around 8 p.m., I was there at the police headquarters and trying to see what was happening. And so many councillors from Waivu Division, those within Arua Central Division, and many other people were gathered there. And it actually prompted the transfer of these 3 officers to the CID headquarters in Kampala over the night. And that's one update that I can give you right away. But let me introduce my guest here right away. I have Ezamaha Muzamel, who is the Deputy Resident City Commissioner for Arua Central Division, and also he is one of the heads of security in Arua Central Division. So we'll be able to get more updates from him. Maybe Ham, you're most welcome to the studios.
Thank you, moderator, and thank you, the viewers.
Okay, what do you make of that demonstration? Right away, we can start from there.
That demonstration, if we were to trace the background of why it has come there, it is basically about the arrest instituted by the office of the president. Actually, that is the minister in charge of economic monitoring. You know, that ministry is under the docket of the office of the president. Therefore, the members who were involved in the issues of corruption and so on, where some of them are relatives of these people. Now, because they are relatives, they felt these people were being mishandled. Actually, their arrest was so illegal and so on. They wanted to show their love to the relatives and so on, and they wanted them to get a quick response by the security and the police to make sure that they are released. But the decision they took, I also blame it to a few political leadership of the city. Why? Because, you know, some of these community members, when they are coming, you need to sit with them, you talk to them, you sensitize them on the dangers of what they are doing. You know, the matters of corruption, it is a serious issue affecting the service delivery in the country. According to the directives of the president, any corruption tendency must not be tolerated. And this is a matter which was publicly discussed in a meeting in the presence of the minister, in the presence of all the technocrats, all the politicians were there. These questions were eminent and they were directed to specific staffs of the city. Where you fail to produce a document or you have irregularities in signing the documents and you lack a policy guideline, eventually there was a possibility of the minister giving directives to security to institute an arrest against you. So based on that background, those people who came to complain and try to disrupt the meeting of the minister with the Arua district local government, they did it illegally. And they were going to be even arrested, because from the security perspective, what they are doing was very legal. Minister was mandated to do her work, and it was prudent enough for people to listen carefully, and also maybe comply with the necessary steps which are to be taken. So I condemn that action taken by those community members who came to try to seek for illegal bailout of those people. If actually they also propelled the decision of a higher authority in making sure that these people should not be given the bail somehow, I mean the police bond, because you know no one is guilty until proven by the court. But if you have not given an opportunity for the responsible officers to do their work, there is a possibility that anything can what? Anything can happen. Because we also got scared. We said exactly what is trying to take place. People are not now respecting the law. People started now abusing and insulting the security people, the politicians, and so on. Now that kind of behavior was uncalled for, but the situation was somehow under a control, because we're in charge of the security. We couldn't allow such a incident to have occurred in the presence of a senior minister.
Okay, if you look at that demonstration, maybe I'll pick it from there. The demonstration was a kind of embarrassment on the side of the leadership in the city, because this was a meeting for the leaders in the district, but we saw already people coming to assault their leaders when they were ready for the meeting in the city. Maybe what do you make of that, and what are those remedies or strategies you people have laid to ensure that these kind of things do not occur when we have visitors in the city?
You know, this thing was, we were not able to anticipate it earlier, because first of all, these people came from Aivu division. They were not from the central, and you know, this incident happened within the central division, and since these people had already slept like a night, I think the mobilization was done overnight. So people, we just abruptly got that some people were already demonstrating. You know, people came at the mayor's garden. You know, we thought they have come to see their beloved ones who were in cells. Kumbe, there were internal, you know, micro meetings going on in making sure that the honorable MP of Central Division was to be ashamed. Because if you check the portrait, there are write-ups on the Manila papers and so on. It was indication that the minister was colluding with the what? With the MP of the Central Division in instituting the arrest of these people, which may not be true. Because you know, also it is within the mandate of these MPs to make sure that there is efficiency in accountability of all these resources they allocate in the parliament. Now coming to embarrass an MP who is on the duty, it is, by the way, it is also illegal. It is not right, and we couldn't encourage our community members to do that. It was also lack of conscious discipline. You know, when you are a disciplined person, you have to know your duty and the rights in pursuing such you know, issues, because you might think you are doing a right thing when you are breaching a law. You see. So what happened there was a matter of a law and policy. So these officers may not have breached certain laws, but the policy guidelines were read by the minister. They were very open. The questions, you know, the questions directed to these people were about the issue of law and the policy. You can't come and authorize or approve without the sitting of the council and the responsible committees who are supposed to, you know, overseeing the matters of approvals and so on. So there were so many irregularities. If you go to the tax pack, evidently some people rose up and raised that some of the lockups belong to the CFO, which we didn't confirm it because the minister was there. But also, again, the minister had given us that mandate to make sure that these issues must be resolved, and we should use the New Market Act to make sure that the allocation of the lockups and so on in the market and the tax pack should be done effectively within the guidelines. Okay. So based on those irregularities, I don't think the decision people took in doing the demonstration against the MP, demonstration against the minister was really a genuine one. It was a kind of indiscipline. I don't also blame the leadership of the division of Aivu or the city, because much as these people said, they were the relatives of these people. But when they came to demonstrate, their leaders were not around. So I may not blame them, but we need to play our role as the leaders in the communities, as the leaders of the public, to make sure that the people we lead should also know how to behave. What they did was really, it was so ashaming in front of the minister, who has come to exercise her mandate, actually the executive powers. You know, when you are a minister, you are appointed by the president, you are somehow, when you are performing your duty, you become immune against such issues. What they did not affect actually the minister. They affected their integrity themselves, not the minister. Because the minister knew that this is really total indiscipline, and we condemn that. As the office of the president and the RCC, we really never expected that to have happened, but it has happened. We need to go on sensitizing the community to really exhibit maximum discipline when such a high-level guests are within our vicinity.
Okay, for those of you who missed the sessions with the minister, and also all those issues that were done there, remember she was actually trying to highlight that her mandate of coming here to Western region was to assess 3 areas. One of these was the programs, whether they have been implemented well. The second issue was the issues to do with the police guidelines. Are they being followed very, very well? And then the third issue is the issues to do with accountability. These responsible duty bearers accounting to the citizens, how are they able to really implement some of these programs, and is there transparency in all those transactions, or those all implementation strategies they are laying? Are they deviating from any of the policy guidelines in as far as implementing some of these programs is concerned? And that's where really some of these officers were netted. So maybe let me ask you again, was this arrest called for? Looking at all those areas that were measured, and also seeing that the technocrats were not really ready to defend themselves at that meantime, where the arrests really called for, because the ordering of the arrests were all there. I did not see any MP saying arrest this one, arrest this one. I did not see any mayor or councillor saying that, but it was really something that was coming from the minister direct to her security persons. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Federick. You see, if we had enough time, I have been following that proceedings from A to Z. Especially for the case of the fiscal planner, the evidence were eminent, and they were seen. First of all, even the deputy town clerk, who was the chair of the is it infrastructure committee?
The fiscal planning committee.
The fiscal planning committee,
yes,
had already written in contest that please don't proceed with that project, meaning that he had totally refused the approval of the construction work of the tower. But the fiscal planner his own wisdom, I don't know what powers he had okayed the process and issued a construction permit of the tower, which was totally illegal. Therefore, the minister had to issue some instruction. You know, the minister, being also a political person, cannot say that you arrest him. What he said was, please, the police and the security, you investigate. But they can't investigate a person who has not made a statement in the police. And going to make a statement in the police is already a sign of an arrest. So those people are trained, they know how to coordinate and communicate. Because the minister came with some CIDs from the headquarters, even from some people from ISO and so on. Those are all prominent figures in the government. Now, it was not a local arrangement, but it happened because we saw what was happening and what there are so many approvals, illegal approvals done by the fiscal planner, which was seen, and even all the stakeholders were around. So at the side of the fiscal planning, there was error. Now, we cannot say that the error amounting to institute an arrest or what, but what we saw there, even a person who is not legal sound can know that this was a mistake. For the side of the CFO, one of the issues I realized there was having irregularities was the issue of the diversion of the fund, which was meant to put the lights in the streets within the central city division. The money which was meant for that purpose was diverted to go and construct some bridges in the Ivu division. So as the minister moved with the proceedings, so questions started arising. And they directed one of the questions to the mayor to seek for his opinion, whether the explanation, the finance safeguard explained, was it enough? Was it sufficient in relation to the construction works in Ivu division? But the mayor was very open, with open minded, said, please, those things are not bridges, those things are culverts. If you were there, said those things were not bridges, but they are called culverts. So the money which was used which were diverted to construct the culverts, but even the culverts were not fully done. So this issue was in the presence of so many people, to the extent the minister said, okay, fine, I need to go and what? Visit all those locations of the culverts. But again, if the money was taken to do that project from one division to another, was it with the consent of the accounting officers of the central division? So the accounting officers said, no, they are not aware. Even the council approval of the division did not sit to approve. Therefore, if you look at the issues of the law and the policy guideline, it was also, there were errors. You see, they made some mistakes, and these mistakes, if you are to measure them, they can also amount to an arrest. So that's why minister had to say that this matter need to be also investigated. That was the best word she used. But me, a person of a security, was able to anticipate that this can easily be an arrest. You see that? That's why the person who was so very anticipative and so on was the engineer. Engineer vanished, disappeared. Even he couldn't pick any call. Because he had also, you remember the matter of 800 million where they spent 500 million in first-year account. So the 300 million coming to almost 1 year and plus is not accounted for. So according to the town clerk, this one is supposed to be accounted by the engineer because it was used on first on account. So meaning that you request the money, they hand over to you, you go and what? Procure the items, which somehow engineer skipped some steps and he was unable to account before the council. Worth 300 million. It was a very grave, kind of a loss to the government, which a person who is clear-headed like me cannot say that the engineer, if he was to be arrested, it was very illegal. Me, that one, some people need to really understand. These monies are meant to serve the people and to make sure that the people's these other challenges are solved, issues with the connectivities of the roads and so on, is to improve the service delivery and in turn to make sure that the issues of socioeconomic transformation is achieved. And this can only be done, those who are in agricultural sector must be able to take their products to the market through these roads.
Okay, we are time bad, and let me just have your last words on what strategies you people have now laid as security because of these kind of issues. I know the tensions have started. We are going to see more during elections because we are just a few months to start the issues to talk about elections.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. We are the passion you've been waiting for! Yunus Junior Santamu! It's our league, our football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish from Master Fukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times.
The Star Times UPL. Our league, go for it.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Okay, welcome back from that commercial break. Earlier on, we are actually moving to the closing remarks from the Deputy RCC, and we want to move from here there direct. And maybe if you can just in simple or few words to make your conclusion, as security, what have you people decided on these issues? Because really, if somebody is arrested in order to really get rid of corruption, okay, those tendencies that these people were arrested were tantamount into corruption, that somebody will say in one way or the other. In order to fight corruption, you people in the RCC department and also those in security are really supposed to be the forefront in looking after the money that has been really given for the people, whether it has reached or not, and also look at some of the issues of implementation, also the beneficiaries themselves. Show what is it that you people have laid on ground to ensure that these kind of issues are curtailed, and also the officers who are asked to go and make statements really do it the way it is actually needed by the law.
Thank you. You see, in brief, we have already, it has become an eye-opener for the security team. We have been alert. You know, some of us were transferred from different districts to come and work here, but it was a very good opportunity for us to interface with the minister to understand the insight of what people have been doing in this city. So we are already prepared to see how are we going to deal with the such corruption tendencies. And again, the issues of the security alone, what people did like yesterday was going to bring a serious insecurity. Remember, people were demonstrating against the minister and the Central Division MP. Now, in our kind of communications with the other stakeholders, we realized also somehow some people within the Central Division were also planning to come to meet, to face head-on with these teams. If that one had happened, it was going to cause a serious, either a fight or bloodshed, which we made sure that it could not happen. Now, meaning that we need to be very vigilant, even as a community, all the leaders in the city, to know our roles, why we are here. We are here to make sure that the people's lives and the properties are safe. So we are not going to leave any person who is trying to disrupt the peace, which is anchored by NRM government, to be just wasted like that. And concerning the issue of the corruption, we are going to need a report every month from people. What are the numbers of the projects which have been given by the government, how far the implementations are, how much is in the account, what are the challenges, and so on. So we want to do a close monitoring and supervision of all these projects, because if we as the office of the president, representing the president here in the city, if we are going to sleep, a lot of things are going to happen. It is also going to tilt our image. You remember when RCC, the former RCC, was here, a number of issues happened. Now, immediately after his transfer, so issues have started unfolding themselves. Meaning that there were also a kind of, somehow someone can say, a sleeping in the office of the what? In the office of the RCC. For us, we are open-minded people. We cannot allow such an incident to happen within our regime of the office. With my senior and the colleagues, we have already accepted, we have set the ground to make sure that the issues of corruption are dealt into the depth. We are not just going to massage people, doing here, there, no. Like these ones who have been arrested, they have their right to secure also a bail and so on, but using a legal means. It is no longer going to be using a physical approach, fight, what, and so on. No. This is a matter of policy and law. These issues of mobilizing the community to come will never work, my brother. It will never work, and it will not help anyone. So I'm encouraging people to be calm. The security, we are on top of the issues. No one is going to intimidate, to say that, you see, we are here, we are coming to do ABCD. No. Those ones are relatives of some people. They are even, others are also our friends. But you know, when it is a matter of law, the issue of friendship is you can't bring it when such issues happen and the minister is around. The issue of relationship, you will first put it aside. You pave a way for law to take its course. And when someone is innocent, at the end of the day, will also be released. It is just a matter of the time to see who is on right and who is on wrong. Okay. Therefore, let people allow us to do our work. We also encourage them to support the government, because all these things are happening. Government wants to see that people should benefit. And with the wisdom of the president, he thought it wise to appoint the Minister for Economic Monitoring. That's why things are trying to unfold itself, you know, because some of these issues are when the city is still a municipality. These are not new matters, by the way. Only that these are the very officers who were during that time and even up to now. So we also want to thank the president for his wisdom and the able leadership to make sure that the issues are brought in order. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
All right, that is it from my guest, and he's actually moving for some serious meetings there in the city. We will pardon him from here, and we appreciate you that you have been able to really catch up right away with us here, and really the little time we had with him, you have been able to really pick a few things. Remember, this is a regional city, and all the mess that is done in this city will really be painting the picture of what West Nile looks like. And that's why we really need to see that order and order is actually really maintained, and developments are done in the right way. Let's take a break from here, and then when we come back, we'll be able to move into other issues shortly.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
The passion you've been waiting for!
Yunus Junior
It's our league, our football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish from Fukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Okay, welcome back from that commercial break. Earlier on, we were discussing the issues to do with the arrest of the accounting officers of Arua City and also some of the developments around this. I remember earlier on told you that these officers have already been transferred to Kampala. They say the headquarters are ready to fasten the interrogations, and also because of the tension that has been brought by the demonstrators, it was not really right to keep them within the city. And this is one really avenue that will be really paving way to see the justice delivered at the right time. Whether they plead guilty or not, that will be upon them to also look at whatever they were able to do or not. That will be in the hands of the justice people who will be able to deliver the message. But right away, let's move away from that, and I've been joined by a guest from Arua district, that is the Deputy Resident District Commissioner, who is actually here with me, and we'll be also discussing some few issues to do with the monitoring that happened in Arua district and trying to see what the issues are, and also understand a few issues that actually came up from the discussions yesterday, but also what we can pick from the district as the trail of economic monitoring continues today to Mariokolo district. Maybe Deputy RDC, you're most welcome to West Nile TV studios. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, if you can briefly tell us who you are, because there are some people who have never seen you, or the others who have seen you somewhere, they might remember you at this moment. Yes.
Thank you so much. Good morning, my dear viewers. My name is Okwai Dennis Jawoko. I'm the Deputy Resident District Commissioner, Arua. And yes, I formerly served in Obongi before I was transferred here. I'm about 2 weeks old in Arua office. But so far so good. The situation is normal and calm.
Okay. All right, if you look at Arua district yesterday, there are so many issues. I will just want to highlight on a few of them where really there were issues of national importance. Talk about the issues of hybrid procurements that has actually left the district not to achieve some of the projects delivered in time. Talk about the bridges, talk about some of the infrastructure under the Agriculture Cluster Development Program. Maybe what do you make of what you saw in the field, and also the programs that have not been completed, and there's nowhere you can trace the monies or how they were being implemented, yes, in the district?
Yes, thank you so much. Sorry. We earlier on had our routine monitoring of those projects before the coming of the Minister of State for Economic Monitoring, Office of the President, and we made our field observations in those monitoring. One thing that came to our attention was the abandoned bridge under the Agriculture Cluster Development Program, which is in Adroy, the Adroy Bridge. We visited the site before the coming of the minister and made a lot of observations. The site was abandoned some times back. This is a project that should have been handed over by now. And as you earlier on rightly said, it is a hybrid procurement which was done from the Ministry of Agriculture. And the issues that came up, which eventually led to the abandonment of the site, one was undervaluation of the project. I think at the time of the contractor quoting, the conditions were a bit favorable, and eventually the cost of delivering the project was quoted lower than what they eventually met in the field. And that led them into requesting for additional fundings from the ministry, which I think delayed to come. Then the other issue was delay in being paid. They had finished the first phase of the work and they wanted to be paid. Unfortunately, what happened was that payment delayed and they could not continue on site. And that is what we were told. But the fact that the procurement was done at the center, at the ministry, it gave the district leadership and even the technical team especially very little control over the project. And that is something which was really very unfortunate, because at the end of the day, they abandoned the site. They attempted to transfer some of the materials which they had mobilized on that site to another site, but the community was vigilant. The members rose up and informed security. As we talk right now, we have some materials at our police station pending investigations. But as we talk right now, the contractor, as of yesterday, could not be reached, both on phone. Earlier on, when we visited the site, we had an interaction with the engineering team, which also expressed concern over that particular project. So in our routine reporting exercise, we brought it to the attention of our supervisors in head office, including the Minister of State for Economic Monitoring, Office of the President. So that is all I can say about that project. It is quite unfortunate that up to now the bridge is not in place. Money, advance payment had already been made, and we are not seeing signs of this particular project being delivered. But also a letter has been drafted and sent to Minister of Agriculture, drawing their attention to this same subject matter. We are very hopeful that in the shortest time we are going to have a response and probably have this matter resolved, so that we can enhance service delivery, especially in that part, because that bridge is supposed to connect Kuluva to the other side of Arevo. And that will be a very good news to our farmers and the rest of the community members living within that area. Thank you.
Okay, one other big project, maybe before we go to that, if you are someone who wanted to visit maybe that bridge, you realize that when we went there, it was quite one thing that people were almost forgetting where actually the bridge is, because of the bushy nature of the area. People were actually looking for where the bridge could be and so on, not until somebody had to come with a hoe and show direction somewhere, and that's where really we were able to really see that bridge. And one other big project that has been also central procured is the issues to do with the health sector, where there is a construction of 2-unit house that is a storage house for the staff who are working at Vura Customs. And you realize that there is also an OPD that is for diagnosis that has been constructed at Vura Health Center 3. And these are projects that are awarded centrally by Ministry of Health, and it is amounting to 3.5 billion Ugandan shillings. And what has emerged from this project is that workers have not been paid, and we have seen letters of demanding for money that is amounting to 9.3 million Ugandan shillings from some of the workers. Maybe as the office of the RDC, that you are also so much into monitoring some of these projects, what is it that you have been able to find out from this kind of project, and what are the interventions that you have put in place to ensure that workers are able to at least get their pay, and also the work continues? Yes.
Thank you very much. The issue regarding the COVID-19 holding center, which is at Vura Health Center 3, is started around the COVID time. This is a facility, there are only 2 of that kind in Uganda. Ideally, that facility, that project should have been put at the border, at the custom. But there was an issue of land. But the district leadership quickly thought of losing the project if they don't avail land within the facility. So with approval of the commissioner at that time, they all agreed unanimously that let this facility be put at the Health Center 3. So what you see there, ideally this project should have been completed and also commissioned. But it has been a very unfortunate event that this gentleman in question, the company is called Doxa Engineering Limited.
Yes, yes.
They were supposed to have a 4-unit of one-storied building, 4 unit of staff house, and they are supposed to have an isolation ward, that structure which you saw as you were accessing the gate.
Yes, yes.
But what came to our attention before we visited the site, there were complaints that were registered to our office, where some workers were demanding to be paid. But also when we visited the site earlier, before we went yesterday, we realized that the CEO of that particular company is a very cunning human being. And what he has been doing on ground, he recruits workers, he gets workers, he doesn't give them any written contract, but he promises them verbally. So when they get on site and start working, when time for payment comes, there is a way he comes up with the complaints stating these guys have not done work according to his expectations, because the first lot of workers that he had taken on site were laid off. Unfortunately, they were laid off at the time when they had not yet been paid. And immediately he brought another set of workers with a new site manager, a new foreman, and the rest of it. These guys started working, so when he could not cooperate with the first group of workers that he had brought on site, they came to our office and formally complained. I'm very sure a copy of that letter you had access to. So when we received the letter, we went through it. We needed to understand certain details about that particular transaction. We made a phone call to him. He was not cooperating to come on ground. We had to go on site. But even then, before we went on site, I personally went to the district engineer and got the contact of the engineering team from Ministry of Health. You remember, this is a hybrid procurement, as you earlier on stated. So the district involvement in that particular project is so minimal that the district engineer does not have any allocation as far as monitoring is concerned, or even supervision. So you find cases of site meetings have been very few. I think when my interaction with the district engineering team, we realized that so far they have had about 3 site meetings. But putting that aside, when we got the new team on ground, we expressed concerns over non-payment of workers on ground, and they also told us that they have been facing challenges in trying to reach their bosses in Kampala. But fortunately, by 2 days before we went there yesterday, I called him again. He was able to pick my call, and we talked. He claims the person that he knows is demanding him is only the person in charge of wiring. But the letter on our desk is indicating over 10 workers who are demanding payment. But again, when we visited the site, we met another team of workers with the local council chairperson, one of that area, who also were expressing the same concern. They had tendered their complaint to the local council, one chairperson of that area, asking for the intervention of our leadership to come and make sure they receive their payments. So this caught our attention. Our office, together with the office of LC5 and COW, visited the site, and we had a meeting with the community because they were running out of patience and eventually becoming rowdy. However, after we had a discussion with them, we requested them to first remain calm and maintain some patience as we try to reach Ministry to ensure that these guys are called to order. As we talk right now, the building, which is supposed to be an accommodation facility for the staff at the facility, is nearing completion. It's about 95%, as you could see. There are just some few snags on the building that are being corrected. But even the isolation ward, as you could see, what they are doing right now is now trying to fix the furniture that is supposed to come with the whole package, with the whole contract. So this project is behind schedule. The one of Adroy is behind schedule. One observation that I've made across many of these districts in West Nile is that most of the contractors who are given these contracts have very low capacity to deliver these projects. It is something that you cannot understand so much, because at the procurement process, the documentations are so good that you are convinced that this gentleman will deliver. But again, when it comes to the actual implementation, as you saw with the two bridges of Enyao 1 and Enyao 2, this is a gentleman who demonstrated adequate capacity to deliver these projects. The documentations were on point. Even the banks, the financiers, when they were contacted at the time of procurement, they said this gentleman has capacity, and also they will be able to finance in a situation where he gets stuck. But what we are seeing on ground is different. You find the same workers from one side are being shifted to the other side, then from this other side being taken the other side. Remember, this is a project that is already behind schedule. They requested for extension of 1 month. That was granted successfully by the district engineering team. Out of the 1 month that they have been given, they have already gone 2 weeks into the 1 month. So as we talk right now, we are looking at 2 weeks to complete the project. But between me and you, when we visited the site yesterday,
yes,
I can assure you the 2 weeks are not enough for these guys to give us that project. Remember, that project comes with the 500 meters of tarmac on both sides. And even that part of the project has not started. The grading of the road and the tarmac work hasn't started. You saw the two bridges. So it is unfortunate. In law, they say justice delayed is justice denied. But I think even in service delivery, service delayed is service denied. So it was in order when the Minister for Economic Monitoring came, because we had already captured this in our report, and we wanted her to also come and have an appreciation on ground to see the challenges we go through. These guys are very organized and smart at procurement process, but when it comes to implementation, it's completely a different story. It is something that is affecting service delivery. This term that NRM government is serving in leadership, we had pledged to the community that it's going to be Kisanja Hakuna Mchezo. But again, when you see some of the things which are taking place in the community, we had committed ourselves that this time around we want the wananchi, we want the community, we want the people to feel this government. And how does the community feel this government? The community can only feel this government when services are being brought not only nearer to them, but the quality of services that are being brought to them is on point, is what we have promised to give them. You know, when you look at the bridge, you see how people are getting affected. Farmers who are supposed to access market with their produce cannot easily access the market. Even other civil servants, any other movement has been greatly hampered due to that bridge. So what we are saying is that we really need to come together, put our hands together to ensure that the people feel this government. The central government is sending a lot of resources, but somehow, somewhere, these projects are being strangled, they are being suffocated here on ground. So that calls for our collective efforts to ensure we monitor and supervise these guys closely and try to understand where the challenges are coming from. And by the way, that is one of the reasons why the Minister of State for Economic Monitoring was on ground yesterday. She has been for her routine tour. This time she had scheduled to be in West Nile for all this period. One is to understand the challenges that the sub-region goes through, and then two is to together sit and try to reason out how we can overcome these challenges way forward. What do we do to ensure that these challenges are overcome? Because whatever we do is to benefit the common man on ground in the community. All we do is to serve the community. But now in a situation where these services are not reaching the community, in one way or the other, we have all failed.
Okay, maybe let's move into the other issues. Apart from the projects, apart from some of the projects that were brought by government, either from central or from elsewhere, we have seen a lot of issues to do with the issues to do with the procurements at the district level. There were irregularities or some illegalities cited. But I'm quite sure people, I may say, survived arrest yesterday because maybe there was some fairness done at that point. Talk about the issues to do with how Mita U was able to access the land behind the boardroom to establish the antenna, and also the issues to do with the construction of a pharmacy that is said to be a pharmacy at the production department. What did you make of this? Because these were some things that have been growing when we are physically seeing them, and you saw the comments from the lands officer that he is actually confused. He doesn't know how real people access this land. Maybe, what do you make of some of those submissions?
Starting with the communication tower of Nita U that is sitting on the premises of the district. When it came to our attention that there is no revenue that is being reflected on the district account from that particular facility, we shared a few correspondences here and there to understand, first of all, how this communication tower came to find itself on the premises of the district. As you are aware, the district has a title, and that is a district land, which is already being, which has been secured. But also, the issues which came up clearly was that up to yesterday, it was not very clear how these gentlemen acquired the land to put up their towers. As if that was not enough, there is also an issue of revenue, an MOU. Is there any memorandum of understanding between the district and the Nita U? Unfortunately, these documents could not be readily made available by yesterday. But the cow has promised that he will cross-check with the general registry to see if there is any correspondences relating to that particular project. As you could clearly see yesterday during the interface by Minister of Economic Monitoring in the Office of the President with the community at the District Council Hall, it was clearly stated that they should be given time. Cow has promised he should be given about not more than 2 weeks. He is going to verify. If he gets some of the documents, he will also avail it to the team that came on ground. If he doesn't get, he will also give a report. So that clearly tells you that certain transactions were not very clear. Because the issue, the question we're asking ourselves is, this is your land, but under unclear circumstances, someone has found himself there. And you are telling us, we think maybe because that is the regional center for IFMIS, probably the government has, yes, the government may have a decision like that, but the government does not come and impose itself on your land. There should be procedures followed and how it has reached that level. So I want to request the community of Arua district that they should be calm. This matter will be resolved as soon as possible. However, on the issue of the structure that is being erected on the land of production department, it all came to our attention recently. There were no clear documents available to us. It is one of the assignments that the minister has left us with, because even Cow, who is the custodian of all the assets within the district, could not readily tell us how this gentleman came to start constructing that facility there. But he has clearly assured everyone who attended the meeting with the minister yesterday in the council hall that the only option available is writing a letter to this developer requesting him to evacuate to leave that premises as soon as immediately. That was one assurance we got from him. Now, the other issue that is subject to investigation is how he first of all accessed the facility. And then whom has he been dealing with? Because even the district lands officer is not aware of how this gentleman accessed our land, is not aware of what is taking place there, if there is any memorandum of understanding. But we want to believe that he has been working with some people, which right now we cannot expressly verify. But we are sure with the task at hand, we've been tasked to go and, dig more, assign our detectives to investigate and give us a report. Very soon we shall appear on this same media platform on West Nile TV to give update to our people of Arua district on how the private developer accessed the land, and also if there is any MOU that has been availed. But as of now, what I can tell our viewers is that the developer is supposed to leave the premises, and police already yesterday, minister directed the district police commander to to institute investigation regarding the criminal trespass, the illegal trespass on the land of the district. So those are the two issues which came up yesterday in our interactions. But we are very sure that it will be religiously handled, and we shall come to a conclusion.
But what one person maybe would ask is, how could somebody actually access a fenced land? Okay, that because the production land, if you come to the district, is actually a fenced and enclosed place where the district has operated there for quite a long period of time. And if you look at the quality of the buildings, the structures available, you can easily tell that this is a construction that has lasted for quite a good number of years. So there must be someone who has been dealing in this, only that people have not come out clearly from that. Maybe from all these monitoring aspects and so on, all these things that we were able to see, and also the responses that were given out, what is the summary of your overview of all these things?
Now, I can confidently say that the monitoring exercise was successful. It is one of the many activities that we do in Office of the President. As you are aware, the Minister of State for Economic Monitoring is also from Office of the President, and normally we report to them. Sometimes they want to also come and verify what we have been reporting about. So we visited a PDM circle group in Vora, sub-county, a parish called Tilevu. These women and the men are involved in value addition. They are dealing in coffee. I'm happy to confess that I bought some of their products, and today I tested their coffee. It is so organic and nice, very, very nice aroma. So together with the team, we visited that group to assess the level of progress that they have registered over time, and also to give us some success stories as far as PDM is concerned. Yes. I am very happy to report that what we saw on ground was so impressive. These women are able to take care of their household bills. These women are able to produce and add value to what they are producing. The only challenge that we saw there right now is their capacity to have equipment to process some of the products that they have. But so far they are able to, they have their own nursery bed. Out of the nursery bed, they are able to sell some of the seedlings to other community members. But also, they are processing some of their products. We could see they displayed, they exhibited to us some coffee products in front of us. The minister was very happy. So that was to assess the level of progress in the implementation of PDM. And now, when we left T-level, we were also able to interact with a group of women entrepreneurs in Kuluva. These guys are benefiting from Emyoga. They benefited from the first seed capital of 30 million. out of the 30 million over time, because of their good performance, maintaining good records, you could clearly see how they were filing their records in the office, and also how they are keeping their success stories. You could see that they are doing well. They applied for the additional grants of 20 million, which was easily given to them by Microfinance Support Center. So it is very important that we do these monitorings to ascertain the level of progress that these different groups are registering. But also, like I earlier on highlighted, these monitorings help us to identify the challenges these groups are facing, so that we can come together and put our heads in one thinking basket to understand what we can do as a team to help these groups, because our vision, our dream is to shift from subsistence economy to commercial economy. And this cannot be done if we don't share ideas and if we don't produce for the market. I remember one of the women was giving us a testimony of how she's able to send her children to school, how she's able to meet her medical bills, how she's also able to support her husband. But again, the most interesting bit was the husband also being a support system in that program, where he would make sure that this woman does not squander whatever project, whatever enterprise she's involved in. She told us she's involved in small-scale selling of general merchandise. It is something that we were impressed with. So these monitorings help us to understand. We had hoped that when this program comes, it would help, it would bridge maybe ABCD gaps. But again, you don't just leave it there without coming to understand if the program is achieving the intended targets. So I can ably and confidently tell our viewers that so far we are impressed with the progress. However, there are some few challenges, as we noted. There are those ones who borrowed a myoga money and have not paid up to now. Yes. And we have sat down with the group members and agreed that they work closely with the office of the DPC to ensure that these monies are recovered. Remember, it's supposed to be revolving. It is not that we are recovering these monies and putting back to the treasury. But we are trying to say that other group members who had not yet got a chance of accessing these funds should also be given this money. But now, if you borrow and you refuse to pay back, it becomes a challenge for other members who had not yet borrowed this money. So we are saying when you borrow, maybe within a period of 6 months, you pay back with very minimal interest, very minimal. You pay back so that the other member who had not yet borrowed the other time when you are borrowing also has a chance to borrow and improve on his quality of life or her quality of life in the community. Okay. So that is the objective of these programs. Yes.
Okay. Now let's have your last words in 30 seconds so that we're able to give room for those who are coming to Anchor News in Lugbarati right now. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much. What I can tell our people of Arua district and West Nile at large is let us embrace these wealth creation government programs that have come so that we can all together shift from the subsistence economy to the money economy. That is something that will improve on the quality of life we are living. Otherwise, we should continue supporting NRM government and the strong leadership of His Excellency General Yoweri Museveni Kaguta, because he cares for us, looking at so many programs that have been brought on ground.
Okay. All right, that is it, and that is it for the discussions for this Thursday edition. We'll be meeting again tomorrow on the last edition for this week, that is Friday, and we know the vibe that comes on Friday with the weekend starts and so on, many other things come in, but we always preach that you keep yourself safe and make sure that you are also one of the beneficiaries of all these livelihood interventions by government, so that you are able to at least tell a story on how you started and also how you are progressing. Behind the camera, I have Dijon Pro, and also in the production, I had Aldo, who has been there behind trying to write for us these scripts. And up next, we'll be having the news in Lugbarati. My name is Federick Dramadri. Let's move away from here and leave room for those people who are coming to Anchor News in the Lugbarati Thanks for watching, and also we appreciate that you have been able to do it the best way we expected. But next time you should be able to share with us your opinion, your comments, and also share with us where you're actually catching up the show from. That's very, very important. Thank you.